Hey, welcome back to another video. I really appreciate your attention. I appreciate you clicking on this video. If it's your first time here, I welcome you to subscribe for lots more knife content like we're going to be talking about today. I've been sharpening for people all over the world for quite a few years now, and I still get one common question, at least once every couple months, I would say. And that is a request for someone to turn their knife with some existing grind into a Scandi ground knife. Now, once you understand grinds, you'll understand that is pretty much an impossible task. Let's look at the paper here and I'll explain why. So right here we have a knife sent in by a client of mine. This is a Tops Brothers of Bushcraft field knife. It's a pretty nice knife. It's a bit large for my taste, but nice knife, lots of heft. Looks like 3/16 stock there. It's a big, solid, do-it-all bushcraft knife. Now, the request was to turn this Saber Grind into a Scandi Grind. That was the original request. And like I said, this fella is not alone. I've gotten this request a lot of times and still get it somewhat regularly. So this grind would be represented by this right here. And when I say Saber Grind just usually means a medium-high flat grind. A full flat would run pretty much spine to edge, with the exception of a small secondary micro bevel right here, just so this angle is not too shallow. So this would be a full flat. Something like this would be considered a partial flat, or a partial flat would usually be called a Saber Grind. And this height here can vary. That would depend on this grind line. So if this grind line was up to, say, here, it could still be considered a Saber Grind, although they're typically kept down about here. This is pretty common. And of course you have a Convex Groin. There are lots of different grinds, but these are a few of your main ones. You have a Convex here. Now for a Convex grind, we have a curved grind. Instead of having a flat plane, like on these two grinds right here, we have a curve. Now you can get a full Convex where we have one sweeping curve right from the spine, but you don't usually see that much of a Convex. Usually it starts somewhere down to how a Saber Grind would, and we start tapering in. Now lastly, we have this, what most people call, and I call, a Scandi Grind. I haven't drawn it perfectly symmetrical there, but you can assume it is for the purposes of this video. Now, what do you notice about this grind compared to all the others? The Scandi Grind, and why the reason a lot of people like it, it became so popular in bushcraft, is that there's a lot more steel here than on these. So if you're talking about a Convex, might go something like that. If you're talking about a Saber or a flat. So the problem when we compare that should become pretty obvious. You cannot go back to a Scandi Grind once you've created something like this. The steel is gone. It's not there anymore. All of these grinds require more steel removal than a Scandi ground knife, so you can't go backwards. About the only way to do it for each of these would be, say, to remove a bunch of steel. And then even with full flat grinds, it's pretty much going to be impossible. But with Saber, if you removed a lot of steel, came up here, and then did something like this, but I mean, you're going to be cutting out, say that much of your blade. You're going to want to remove all that. You could probably pull it off with Convex as well. You could come up here somewhere. Same thing with full flat, but you're going to always have some angle with a full flat. You're going to have a double taper there. This would get you somewhere in the range. But just imagine the amount of steel you would have to remove. So I really hope that helps clear it up for a lot of you, including the owner of this knife. How once a knife has been turned into a grind other than a Scandi Grind, there's no going back. Now you can take a Scandi Grind which has more steel and turn it into any of the other grinds, because that would just require removing steel and thinning out the profile. Once you've removed that steel, there's no going back. I'm sorry to break the news to you. Thanks so much for watching. Hope this helped teach you something here, help you understand grinds a little bit better. Good luck in your sharpening conquest. I know lots of you have messaged me and told me you've decided to purchase whetstones or a sharpening system, and you're taking the journey, you're walking the path yourself and hoping to learn that new skill this year. So that's exciting. Hope you have fun. Hope this helps you out. Make sure you hit that like button. Leave me a comment down below. We'll see you in the next video.